Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video, and this one is going to be a 12 by 12 and a pocket page, and I'm doing the back of a pocketed page protector I had done in a previous video that I needed to go ahead and fill in. So I'm just kind of getting an idea of the pictures I want to use, and this is of Levi's first birthday party, and you could tell from that photo that it was Minion themed. Had a Minion cake, and so I thought since it was a themed birthday, that gave me free reign to go all themey with this page. So I took the Minions and ran with it. So I looked into my stash and I found this denim paper. I found 2 sheets of that and a sheet of yellow cardstock, and I have no idea who the manufacturers were for those papers. They've been in my stash for a long time. And then I went online and found some Minion clip art. And this one I just printed out on an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet and fussy cut it out. And then I wanted to make one of the photos a little bit smaller. So I decided to trim out some places on this photo that just weren't really necessary. And in order for it to match the larger photo, I need to mount it back onto a piece of white cardstock so it'll have that white border. So I'm just grabbing a scrap of white so I can go ahead and do that. And his birthday, it was so cute. His other grandma made the little Minion cake, and it was so sweet. And he just got right in there and stuck his hand in there, and it was so cute. And I've already done a scrapbook layout for his big brother, so I wanted to make sure to get his in there as well. And so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. Since I only had one sheet of that yellow cardstock and it's a really specific color, I went ahead and gutted the inside so I could use a few pieces on the right hand side. And then I liked this Minion with the outstretched arms. First of all, because he helped fill out the page, and then second of all, because I wanted to make like a banner, him holding a banner between his 2 arms. So you'll see that here in a little bit. And I actually printed 2 of him, and my original idea was to cut out the glasses on the second one and line them with like a clear material and put them up on foam tape over the top of this one, but it doesn't work out. I went ahead and left the process in here because it was a good idea. I just wish I would have done it differently, so I'll show you what happens here. So there are the ones that I fussy cut out, and my idea was to put these Google eyes, which are really cute. I found 2 of them that had the same brown eyes, and they were in my Halloween stash. And so they're a little bit smaller than his original eyes, but it still looks really cute. So I go ahead and I use some glossy accents to glue those on. And then for the goggle glasses, I go ahead and I take this magnifying sheet that I got at the dollar store. And I think, oh, it's going to be so cool, you know, it's going to be magnified and it's going to give it that goggles look and everything. But once I do it and try to put it over the Google eyes, they're just too cloudy. And then you can't see the little Google eyes underneath there very well. And so in the end, I didn't put them on. I don't know. I'll show you when I get them done here and see what you think. I still have them. I didn't throw them away or anything yet, but I decided to leave them off so you could see the eyes. I think it would have been better had I used just regular clear acetate, you know, for some dimension. But at this point, by the time I was done, I was kind of done. So I didn't do it, but it was a cool idea. So at first I thought I had some like banner thickers that were in the shape of little pennants, and I looked through and I couldn't find anything like that. So then I went through my stickers looking for like a happy birthday banner on one of my sticker sheets, but I couldn't find anything like that in my stash. But I found some old sassafras borders. And it's funny because I saw Mercy Tierra using some old sassafras the other day. And then here I am pulling some out. And I like this one because it's got the yellow on there. And it's got enough little pennants that I can put all the words for happy birthday on there. But in order to fit them around a curve, I'm going to have to cut them in little groups of like 2 or 3 to curve them, to curve between his 2 hands. So I'm just going to use a piece of wax paper to kind of line those up. And it turns out I don't need quite all of them. And I had also fussy cut out his gloves from that second printout I had done, thinking that I might put the gloves over the top of his existing gloves there, so it looked like more like he was holding the banner. But the gloves wound up kind of covering the first and last pennant, so I decided to leave those off as well and just kind of leave it just as you see it there. So I go ahead and get those positioned. And I think that looks really cute. And then what I do is I take it over to my sewing machine and I run it through a couple times because my bobbin actually ran out during the middle of it. So I just did a few messy stitches back and forth. And now I'm taking some washi tape and I'm just going to tape down those ends so that it doesn't come unraveled. And you guys, you'll have to excuse me and my voice. I'm getting over a cold, and I had the cold and it went away, and now it's come back, and now it's going back away. So yeah, it's just that time of year, I guess. So now I want to spell happy birthday on the pennant. So I go in my stash and I find some old letter stickers in kind of a dark blue color that will contrast really well on that yellow. And they're the perfect size and everything. So I go ahead and use these, but they're not super sticky. So I wind up having to hand glue all these little tiny letters on. But luckily I have the fine line bottle. I just started using the fine line bottle. Just filled it up the other day, and that was a lifesaver. I love that bottle. And I just have the Scotch quick dry adhesive in it. So I'm still not sure about the goggles. I was just kind of looking them over, and so I decided to go on to my pocket page. And I want my pockets to be on the right hand side of my 12 by 12. So I have to turn these photos over so it'll fit right in the album. So my holes will be on the left hand side. And so I go ahead and lay out my photos again, kind of figure out where I want them. And so the cake is kind of like one of the focal photos on that side. So I go ahead and put it first on the upper left. And then I go into my stash and I pull out a few Project Life cards or cards from different kits and things that were in the yellow and blue color tones. And I decide to use the piece of yellow cardstock that I gutted when I made the 12 by 12. I decide to cut it into a couple cards, but that punch that I bought that does the what are those, like 3x4 cards, that punch just does not work well. And I tried to use it there, but it just doesn't cut. It's really hard. You have to lean on it. And so I gave up trying to use it and wound up hand cutting the cards. And then, so I start laying those out, and I bring in some of that denim from the 12 by 12 layout as well. And that way it just gives some continuity between the two pages and makes them match. And I do the upper left and bottom right both in the darker denim color. And then I also printed out some smaller clip art, and so I'm just looking through to see which other icons I can use. And I love that one on the bottom left there with the little teddy bear, because, you know, it's a first birthday party, and so the teddy bear was fitting. And I also love that one where he's kind of jumping up there and his back is kind of rounded. So he looks like he fits in that circle that's already on that card. So I just go ahead and grab my circle punch and go ahead and cut him out to fit on the upper right hand card. So he fits perfect in there. And then in order to highlight the cake on that dark paper, I go ahead and I mat it on some of that bright yellow cardstock. And then I decide that the photo next to it also needs to be matted on the bright yellow cardstock. So I'm going to steal the card from the middle right here in a little bit to use as a mat, but I have to find something else to then put in that spot. So I look through this pack and I find a yellow card that will work. And I swap it out with that one, and then I can have that to mat that second photo on that top left card. So I'm just trying a few other options to make sure I like what I've got going on there. And so I go ahead and mat the second photo and put it up next to the cake. And that just really balances everything out. Oh, actually, I guess I mounted the one on the bottom right. And so I did the upper left and bottom right on the bright yellow. And now I'm just gluing everything down because I've got it like I want it. But it needs some other little bits and pieces, a little bit more interest. So the next thing I go to usually after I get the big stuff down like this is those little tiny cut aparts. And I have a lot left over in this enamel bin from when I was doing more pocketed page scrapbooking in the past. I used to get the Scraptastic This Life Noted kits. So I have a lot of bits and pieces. So that's why I want to do the farm scrapbook with 12 by 12s and a lot of pocketed scrapbooking, just so I can use up all these little bits and pieces that I already have. So what I'm doing is just looking through, first of all, for anything blue or yellow, and then secondly, for anything that has wording that fits my theme, and things that have words that, that say things, and then also things that are blank that I can write stuff on. So I'm just kind of digging through, and then that's the pile of stuff that had things on it that I thought might work. And then I also have a couple sets of birthday thickers. And this one, I love that little eat cake, but both the eat and the cake wouldn't fit on there. So I just wind up taking the cake out and using that. So I thought that looked really cute there at the bottom of that photo because it had a lot of empty space. There's also a little yellow heart on there. It doesn't wind up staying in that spot, but I do use it. And everything else, they were a little big, but I was glad I was able to get 2 pieces used up out of those packs. So I'm just going to use that little circle in the heart, and the little teddy bear minion was my favorite, so he's just going to kind of stay on that card by himself. And that just, gives me one of the large cards and one of the small cards where I don't have a photo on it. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of space to rest your eye, I guess. And then that picture of Big Brother eating a cupcake, I just put that banner that says I was made for this. The picture in the upper right has grandpa and cousins and uncle and all kinds of people who are at the party in it. And then the pictures on the bottom right are just Levi opening his gifts with his mom and dad and his brother. So I tried to get some photos, you know, a close-up of the cake, close-ups of him eating the cake, and then also a close-up of his brother. Made sure to get his parents in. And, you know, and some of the other people who were at the party. And I thought that told the whole story. So I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing the rest of these items down. And on the totally, I think I wind up check marking awesome on there. And then I have this little O snap. And I go ahead and put that next to the picture of him with the cake. And then that little tab, I just left blank. I was going to put cousins in it, and then I thought, you know what? I'll just leave it blank for mom to write what she wants to write on there. And then I'm liking that. And I think, okay, I'll add enamel dots or something. And then I think, no, I should add more of these Google eyes like I did on the left-hand side and just use them like enamel dots. So I looked through the bag and I found 3 green ones and 3 blue ones. And I'm just going to put them as a line. I thought about here, I was just kind of scattering them. But I thought they actually made more impact all lined up. So I put 3 on that upper right-hand card and 3 on that bottom left-hand card. And I thought that gave a cute little touch. Because it's really the Minions' eyes that really, you know, kind of jump out at you when you first see them. I had never actually even seen any of the movies until like last fall. And I watched one of them. And I was surprised. I didn't realize that they were so naughty. I just thought they were cute little things and that they were sweet. And then when I watched the thing, I was like, oh my. So it was pretty funny. So just using some of the quick dry adhesive on there. Or I guess I should say Scotch tacky glue, since they changed the name of it. And then I thought, you know what? I better put a space over on that left-hand page for her to journal. So I just find this grid card and slide that in there. And that way mom can write on there. I decide against putting those goggles on there. So I go ahead and put these in the pockets, and I am going to call this layout done. So Grandma's got both the boys' first birthdays done and documented. So here are the close-ups. And I'm thinking at this point, the reason I'm sitting there is I'm thinking about putting some sprinkles on there, like some gold or something, but then I decide against it because I like the nice clean lines, and the Minion is so big and graphic on there that he kind of stands alone. So I like his little googly eyes. There's the happy birthday with the sewing and the pictures and the journal card on that denim. And then here is the pocketed side. See the close-up of that cake. It turned out so cute. I think his other grandma made that. It was so sweet. Cousins and people at the party. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment. And thank you for putting up with my terrible voice right now. And I really appreciate you guys watching. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.